It's Retro Podcast with your host, Retro Lion. We talk music, entertainment, films, and more. And now, here he is, live, Retro Lion. Welcome back to Retro Podcast. I am the host, Retro Lion, and today we have Scott and Jonny here from Left of Str8. And Merry Christmas. Welcome, Scott and Jonny.
Hey
Welcome
there,
to everybody.
How's everyone?
Amazing on my end. How are you, Scott?
I am doing absolutely wonderful here in beautiful Northeast Ohio. Beautiful time of year as I get ready into Christmas time. I'm so excited.
Carry on. It's super cold in the Northwest. I can tell you that. It's so cold.
It's freezing up here. No snow, but it's freezing.
Yeah, let's keep that. No, I don't even say the word. No
Yes.
S word.
No S word, got it.
Exactly.
And we go a long way back. Scott, I was your intern at Left of Str8 this past summer, and Jonny, you were on the Entourage when we were all three almost in Vegas. And let me tell you, that was fun. That was some fun memory.
That's a little bit of a difference going from 117 in Vegas to freezing here in Christmas time. Goodness.
For real.
Talk about extremes.
I will say I have lots of good stories from the Vegas trip that I share with people around here. It's fun.
And Scott, what were the fun memories about Vegas?
Such a good time. I mean, unfortunately, all I remember is eating. Didn't we eat like morning, noon, and night? I think we went out to like 3 brunches and 2 late dinners and snacks in between, which was fun.
Really
It was so hot, we kind of stuck in the hotel room, but we had a good time. It was a fun time. We got to see a show. We got to just kind of hang out. It was fun.
Can we just remember with reverence that amazing coffee drink that was in the fancy glass when we went? That was everything, and it tasted like heaven.
It sure did.
That's my favorite memory.
Between the coffee and Showboy's Bakery, that was a beautiful time. Yes, we had a great time.
Agreed.
Yeah, Showboys was definitely fun. Yeah, I just remember purchasing 2 cupcakes, one for me, one for my mother, and that was Wicked, which Wicked came out. I haven't seen it yet, but hope to at some point. But remember getting a Starlight Express cupcake, and the one guy, I couldn't remember his name, but when I told him that Robert Torti was coming on the podcast, which his episode aired back in August, like he told his husband right away that Robert Torti's on the podcast.
Nice. Wait,
That was a fun episode. I liked listening to Robert.
Yeah.
I need to know which cupcake was the hit. Which one did you like better? Starlight Express or Wicked?
Well, Starlight Express was for me. Wicked was for my mother. So I didn't.
What did Mom think?
Mom liked it.
Oh, good. I mean, it's hard not to like their cupcakes, to be honest with you.
I know, right?
I had
They're
a few of them.
fantastic.
That seems like it's the new TikTok trend. You have to pick a cupcake for which you like better, right? You gotta either pick a Wicked or the other for the cupcake.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna love Wicked the movie, so I choose Starlight. Although I feel like to watch that show, that Broadway show, you need to be high. It's a crazy show.
And you need a little sugar witch's hat on the Wicked one and a little roller skates on the Starlight Express cupcake. That would be
I
fun.
should need a train on the Starlight Express cupcake.
Exactly. I feel like it's Thomas the Tank Engine on Broadway. That's such a weird show.
Pretty much.
Inanimate objects that are just alive and talking to you. It's just weird.
Except they're more like Transformers because they're dressed in costume.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to be in all the other Wicked audiences this month while people who didn't realize it's a 2-parter come to the end and go, what? What just happened here?
Have they leaked what the final song of the first part is? Do we know where they're cutting it?
I haven't
Still,
seen the
we don't
movie.
know yet. I have not heard. They're keeping it under wraps.
They really are. I am waiting. I will wait to see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Although I haven't seen Wicked yet. Wicked is on my list. but I have seen Red One. Red One, I've seen it 3 times already. It's the best. I will
Now,
say,
does
I am
Rock play an elf, or does he play? What does he play again?
The Rock plays a giant elf.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like, it's not like Will Ferrell where he's a human dressed as an elf. Like, The Rock is playing a giant elf.
Yeah.
And there's also a polar bear.
Oh, I'm down. I'm in.
That's a rough trade, polar bear. Doesn't he have like a submachine gun or something? I think he's a rough trade polar bear.
I will say I'm already the first person in line to go see that movie.
Yeah, for real. I love the previews. Love the previews.
Yeah. And J.K. Simmons as Santa.
Yes. It was amazing anyways. I love that.
He's not the first time playing Santa. It's the second time playing Santa because his first time was in the Netflix movie Klaus.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
It's animated. It came out like 5 years ago.
Nice. That's amazing.
If one way how I could describe it, it's Black Adam teams up with Captain America with a little bit of Shazam 2 with J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus from Klaus. And if there's any other I could add to it, it's Ant-Man and Loki season 1 and 2. Just TVA. And the Nutcracker. That's just... If anything could describe Red One, it's all that, but with a little bit of Arthur Christmas and Harry Potter.
Wow, so many things in this.
Man,
yeah,
I got whiplash just in that description there. I think
so much
that
in
was
the
Christmas
casserole.
Whiplash right there.
So many.
It was originally supposed to come out last year, but it got pushed this year because of the strike that happened last year.
Oh, yeah, the writer, yeah.
Partly why.
That's so crazy. Well, see, I haven't made myself... The only thing I've been making myself watch is Agatha All the Way. That's what I've been making myself watch. Which, it's not hard to make That's my holiday. I will take spooky season all the way through Christmas. And even New Year's. I love that.
What about Krampus? Oh, yeah, and Krampus is in the film. He's the main bad guy.
Krampus is? Oh, I love that.
There's Krampus, Kiernan Shipka from the Netflix show Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She's also in it. She plays a witch character. It has like a big list of names besides The Rock and Chris Evans.
Yeah. The Rock and Chris Evans is enough for me, but I'll take the extra bonuses. But those are worth it. Those are the men I'll watch.
I had I was on a trip with some friends back in September, and we were at this Irish pub. We were in Put-in-Bay. We were at this Irish pub, and my friend is having a Shamrock Shake, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds nice. I'll have one of those." And I drank it. And I was like, "Some really strong mint in this. What did I put in it?" And so, "Oh yeah, there's Girl Scout cookies. There's peppermint patties. Oh yeah, and there's liquor." And I'm like.
Snuck that in. A little cream de mint.
So that was my first alcoholic drink. My drink.
Nice.
You were roofied in the Irish pub.
I don't drink, but that was a one-time thing, and I'm telling my other friend about it.
Right.
She was on the trip, but we stay in touch. We stay friendly, but. I was telling my other friend about it, and she was like, "Yes, Ben's getting drunk." I wasn't drunk, though.
I don't think I can get through my Christmas holidays without a little Baileys and coffee. That's kind of like...
Hey, yes. Yes, give me some peppermint schnapps and a hot chocolate. Awesome.
So anyhow, Scott and Johnny, how did you get started in podcasting?
Scott?
Well, I got started in podcasting by accident. I was looking for something to do when I had to move home to take care of my sick dad. He got really ill, and so I went to take care of him, and he was sleeping like 4 hours a day, or he was awake for like 4 hours a day. So I had a lot of time on my hands. So I was listening to a lot of podcasts at the time, was still kind of new. And I just thought that might be something kind of fun to pass the time because I like to talk. And I like entertainment, and that's kind of what I was listening to. So I started up and got lucky enough that it was still kind of where you can find people on social media to get guests and everything. So I got a couple of good guests early on and went from there. It's been 9 years later and having a great time with it.
And Johnny, how about you?
I was, you know me, I have too many projects in my head. And so there was a radio station in town, and I thought, I am going to pitch this great radio talk show called Outspoken, and it'll have these 4 outspoken gay guys. And then I'm sure it'll take them like 6 months to say yes. So in the meantime, I'm going to shoot a sitcom. And so I'll do that thinking I'm organized. Instead, both of them got greenlit on the same week. So in August of 2012, no matter, I don't know how long ago, 12 years or something, I had a radio show, and it was great. And then finally, after fighting FCC for so long, I got tired. And so podcasting has no FCC currently. And please don't start. No FCC regulations. And so I left the radio station, started a podcast. We were invited to move that podcast to LA. So we moved our stuff, went down there, and then I moved back, and I don't sit still well. So then I started another one. So yeah, like Scott said, I like to talk. And so
the 2 bears.
Yeah, so that it kind of just the 2 bears. So yeah, so that's how I got in it.
And Johnny, you also did acting as well. What was your acting experience?
Well, I've been acting since I was probably an early teenager, just because. Now, just because you've been I'm not great, but I love it so much, and people were very kind to me, so I started doing that. Then I started directing theater, which I really love doing. And then I got into like little sketches on film, and I don't know, I always like to dabble in creativity. And I think I do want to say I never thought I was a good actor, and then I was in Chicago the musical, and I played Mary Sunshine, and it was the first time I ever felt like an actor, because I had to be a woman the whole time. You have to trick the audience. So anyways, yeah, so I don't think I'm a great actor, but I sure enjoy doing it.
Well, you make a lot of people laugh.
Paint him like, what do they say, like a Rodin Botticelli chick. That's what we're
say.
doing.
F the internet. I freeze again? F the internet. There we go.
He
moved.
Oh, there he is.
Did it keep freezing?
Just lied. It froze.
Yes, you did.
As soon as I mentioned dressing in drag, it was like, you. It was funny though. It was funny. And we talked about painting you like one of those Botticelli chicks, like they say in Clueless.
Wait, Clueless, like the one with Alicia Silverstone? Because there was...
Yes, the best
there
movie
was a TV
ever.
Show.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. We tried to
can't
forget
that.
The movie.
Back the way you were talking, I thought you were talking about painting him like one of those boys from Titanic. It's like, wait a second. Now we're getting X-rated all of a sudden.
Right? That's a little different. And then you have the
Rose and Jack. I don't know.
You put your hand on the steam
never
window.
mind. Goodness. Johnny, I thought you were going somewhere with that.
Speaking of Titanic, I illustrated a Titanic
to
fan parody a while back, but it was in Disney Pixar's Car Style, where the Titanic was a giant wedding. And he's just like, as he's just, singing to wire, he's like, bloop, 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 bloop. And then there's the 2 cars, and there's a Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie car. And then Thomas the Tank Engine is not part of the Cars universe, but I threw him in there. In a boat.
Right? So you need to do a version for Starlight Express with all of those. All of those.
I've been wanting to do one for quite some time. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Because there's 2 screenplays I'm trying to finish up at the moment.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Don't worry. I'll have it to you when it's all done. It's a big one. I just finished the outline. Now I just need to.
Excited to look at it. It's exciting.
If there's anything I could describe it as, it's Scream. Well, it's Scream meets Scooby Doo meets Five Nights at Freddy's.
Wow.
Nice.
You know how to throw a recipe together for entertainment.
Yeah.
I love that.
And there's two animatronic.
But my
characters.
still. Oh nice. Yeah. Oh wow. I will still say the thing I will take away. I think there's nothing can beat the quote. Is the what did you say, Scott? You said he was a rough trade polar bear.
A rough trade polar bear. Yes.
That's the best. That's the best visual I've taken from this.
Yeah. It was funny because
that describes us on Bears of a Certain Age, I think.
Because my friend from work is a big murder mystery fan, is a big horror movie fan. Although yes, it is a horror movie, but it's a horror movie for kids, like Scooby Doo and Monster House are, horror appropriate for kids.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And when I said that it was a murder mystery, not inappropriately, but as a friend, in a friendly way. And she was like, "Oh, what's it about?" And then she was like, "You have really soft skin. What product do you use?" And I was like, "The same product as J-Lo, or at least what she used to use until she came up with her own brand." And then she was like, "Does she ever age?" And I was like, "No."
All inside. All of it's inside. With that one. Also, when you said your skin is so soft, I went directly to Silence of the Lambs.
Oof.
Wow.
Puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. So,
Keep the Chianti away from Johnny.
right? I mean, horror films. It makes sense.
I remember on the trip, because it was a work trip, and was sharing that story with my boss. My boss laughed and was just telling the J-Lo part. He was like, "Yeah, she looks great." That was my boss's reaction.
Oh, J-Lo. J-Lo. I'll keep what I know about. Like, the gossip is going crazy. I think I've heard they're back together. I'm just saying. I
don't keep up with news.
Her and Benny boy. Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah. It's a Christmas miracle, maybe. Who knows?
We need a few.
Yes,
we'll take them.
Half the time I look at Hollywood. I won't go in detail because it's not podcast appropriate. But half the time, and like what you were saying a while back, Johnny, that it's like, are they really a couple, or is this a publicity stunt? Like, people, force these.
Yeah, who knows anymore? We act like the studio days of Hollywood are over, and then P. Diddy and Me Too come out. I'm like, I don't know if it's over or not. I don't know. Yeah,
a little problematic in Hollywood right now in some of those things. Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
And for
exactly,
people need the PR help. Okay. No, go ahead.
For folks that want to go into acting or want to go into radio or podcasting, what is the best advice you would pass on to them?
Well, I've been really lucky to talk to quite a few directors and producers and actors over the time. I think one of the things that I'm finding out more and more is I found a lot of the newer creative directors are really letting actors kind of take their own swing at a script. So they'll record the script as written, and then they'll give the actors another shot to kind of play with it. And I think it's giving the actors a lot of room to play with, and it's giving the directors a lot more choices they might not have thought of before. So I think that's going big in acting right now. It's just really so tough these days because since the strike, they're just not accepting a lot of written scripts right now. And so there's not a lot of work for actors right now. So you're seeing a return to people making their own projects, and people are writing their own shows, much like you've done all along. People are looking for producing their own shows. Back when I started, web series was the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to then again, because you can make these things on a relatively short budget. You can bring all of your actor and producer and director friends together, and it takes a village to make a little movie anymore. So we're seeing a lot of that happen now too. A lot of independent films being made because the big studios are just not shelling out for writers right now.
And Johnny, what about you?
And they're banking on AI still, even though it's in contracts not to do it. They're doing that behind the scenes. Find your community. That's what I say. Because I agree with you. They're going back to indie. I support indie projects 100%. So if you find your community, plus that helps you like hone your craft, because you're helping each other. So actors, honestly, I think have more freedom in indie work. And since, like Scott said, there isn't a lot. If you're not A-list, they're not greenlighting much of anything that's not, way up here. So find your community and help out on a film or act on those things. That's what I say.
Usually the Venice and the Toronto Film Festival just happened a couple months ago. They usually pick up a lot of films, and it took till the second and third week, or second weekend, I think, for Toronto to even buy its first film. Venice took a little while to pick things up. They're just not shelling out the money. There's a couple of strong companies like A24 is buying a lot of good properties right now. But it's a tough time out there right now for all of my actor friends, producers, and directors.
My film, Orlando Hunter,
which
was my very first film. I submitted it to A24. A24 rejected it because it was unsolicited material. But back then, they used to allow unsolicited material. They used to allow all kinds of material, whether it was solicited or unsolicited. But then when A24 got popular, they no longer did unsolicited. They just did whatever they want because they. I mean, I can't speak on their behalf, so then I had to make it myself. But it is what it is.
Right.
I don't know. I
Well,
think you learn more if you have to if you have to spend some time doing the
That's
guerrilla
true.
work. I think you learn a lot more about the craft, and then hopefully, you Ben Affleck and Ben Damon that, and then you kind of come up through those ranks. I think that still happens, but at the same time, I think your projects have legs now when they're independent, more so than they did in the past. So, and honestly, look at Hollywood. I would do my best to
Very
circumvent
true.
that. You know.
Well, it just was out not too long ago that YouTube now has more hours played than any network and any movies playing. I mean, YouTube is the number one streamed from any regular network or anything. So, and they're buying properties like crazy right now. Netflix is changing their whole model around now. A lot of people are trying to pull in A-listers and get them to work on back again to backdoor profits instead of upfront, so they're paying them less to start with and hopefully making some money on the end. So the entire, and I think at the end of September, Paramount decided to stop using the Nielsen services. They're getting ready to redo the entire how everything is being kind of how ad buys are going to be going soon. So the whole
That's
industry is really
crazy.
flipping
Nielsen has
around.
had that for decades upon decades.
Right.
That's a huge shitter. And look at everything that's going down. So this weekend is when Disney started its don't share passwords. So I was using a friend's password, and they right away they'll hit you, which is fine. But so that's starting. YouTube, I will just be surfing before, just needing to get my brain to unwind. There are so many free full length movies that'll pop up, say, you want to watch this? I'm like, sure. And so, yeah, the game is changing. It's a new economy, it's a new creative economy. So it's interesting to see. I think while we're in the Wild West portion of it, let's get in there and mess it up and enjoy it, and disrupt it. Because before the industry comes back in and decides they want a chunk of everybody, I think this is the
It
time.
makes a whole lot of sense why
Well, that's good.
filmmaker Richard Ryan said to me that when it comes to starting a project, start as early as you can. Because
Yep.
he
Yeah,
definitely is right,
definitely.
and you guys are right about what you're saying. Like, I mean, even though yes, sometimes you do have to wait mainly because financially part, but when it comes to doing a project, you want to start
Yes.
as early as you can because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And the nice part is, as a SAG member, and well, correct myself, a SAG indie member, SAG Indie has
Yeah.
given indie filmmakers, especially low budget filmmakers, the opportunity to work with big names. Well, and by definition, big names, not like A-listers, but more like B-listers and like supporting role listers.
Right.
But it's really hit or miss. Like most time they're going to say no. Sometimes they're going to say yes. It's hit or miss because like those films, like the people that work on those films don't get paid as much as what they would get on working on a Paramount or MGM film. So it's kind of hit or miss. But
Right.
it's great.
Well, people like you and Johnny too, you guys cannot stop creating. So there's always going to be new content out there. It's just finding the right audience and kind of matching. It's just
Oh
timing
yeah,
in a lot of things, a lot of luck in a lot of things. But you're never going to stop creating something because that's just the way your guys'
very
mind
true.
works. You're always
Right.
doing some kind of creation. I'm more consider myself more a reporter. I report on everything, but you guys are really out there creating, and that's impossible to stop. I can't stop my curiosity, so I'm going to keep reporting on it forever and listening to it and watching it and consuming it. But you guys are always creating it. Just the models are changing.
Yeah, exactly. Just the models. It's all about perspective. You take a step back, you pivot, and you look at it. And we can't get stuck in the same framework of it has to be one way. You say, as a SAG member, I say, as a SAGgy member of a man of a certain age, just like you should start early, you also should never think that
That's
it's
very
too
true.
late, ever.
True.
Like, if you want to start, at 49 years old to create a new project, just go do it. The only rules that exist are those that you accept upon yourself. And I think we have to remember create because you just can't imagine anything else other than to create, you know? And then, you know, Hollywood will do what it's going to do, but, you know, it's up to the filmmakers and the writers and the creators to just go out and do what you love. Worry about those details later.
I was never a horror fan. I mean, there are some horror movies I do think are great. It's the blood and gore part I can't watch because I will vomit. But I will say, after writing Orlando Monster, I definitely found my place with horror because it is a genre that sells. It's a genre that's very popular, and whether it's good or bad, it's still going to have an attractive audience for it.
Right. I love it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait till you are able to get it. I'm excited to see what you create.
Well, there's two titles that we're stuck in between. It's either going to be called Dragonside or if it's going to become Van Dragonsing. But I think Van Dragonsing is better because that's the name of the main character. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Do it. We will be at your screening.
Yes,
we will go.
Exactly.
And we could also submit it to Venice, Cannes, Sundance, and you name it. We'll just send it away. Even have the premiere.
So,
yeah.
Right.
As they say, set it free. If it comes back to you with a deal, you knew it was meant to be. If it doesn't come back to you,
you're allowed to swear. It's going to get bleeped.
Right.
We are coming down to the end of the interview, and it is Christmas time, and I have a Christmas exchange gift for you all. It's a movie quote. See it.
Nice. I love presents. Yay. The Holdovers.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Holdovers.
Yay.
And
so good.
Scott, you go first. Are you ready? All right.
I'm ready.
And action.
Is
None
that
of
a
your
hotel?
business.
It is my business. I'm looking after
me,
you.
like my warden or butler. There's nobody here, all right? It's just us two losers. You stand on my way, and I'll stay out of yours.
That's a
here
detention.
with you is one big detention.
Son of a bitch. That's another detention.
Okay, we have a next gift, and this is from me to Johnny and Scott.
What's so funny? You left the water on, didn't you? I told you not to do that, but you do that every time.
Harry, it's our calling card. All the great ones leave their marks. We're the wet bandits.
Merry Christmas. That's my gift to you.
That's fun.
I love that. Our favorite shows.
Thank you for joining. And Johnny, one last thing that I definitely remember, because I remember you had this when we went to the brunch restaurant when we were in Vegas, was you had the red velvet cakes. The red velvet pancakes. You shared it with.
Yes, the pancakes.
Those were fantastic.
Those were. I agree. And that was, Scott, do you remember the name of that place? It was so good. That beautiful restaurant.
I don't, but I will figure it out.
That was a great place. I'm glad. Yes, that was a good choice for breakfast.
Owned by two gays in the desert there. We had a great time. It was a fun time.
Which is their new restaurant coming to you this fall. Two gays in the desert.
Two gays in a desert.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify and follow us on Instagram. See you next week.